You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Valentine Chinedu Okoye, and I'm your host on the Real Estate Education with Okoye. So today we're going to continue. This is the second part of our video, why you should invest in land instead of keeping your money in the bank. So the last video we were able to explain the basics of land banking, factors you need to consider before you should invest in a place if you're considering land banking, and then also the benefits that will come to you if you're land banking. So today we're going to answer the question, why should you invest in land banking instead of keeping your money in the bank? Or why should you even invest in land in the first instance, whereas you could put it back in your business and then your business will grow? So today, basically, why people invest in real estate is because of the type of income that we call passive income. Today, we're actually using the board because we're going to do a comparison of someone who keeps his money in the bank and then someone who actually uses his land to buy land. He uses his money to buy land. So today, why basically people invest is because of what we call passive income. Passive income is a type of money you get when you are not actually involved in any particular activity. There is no, you are not putting in any effort. It's just like kind of your money working for you. So basically, why people invest is because of passive income. So people who are in businesses, what most times we advise is you take a part of your profit and keep it, take a part of your profit and invest it in another business or real estate or stock or save in the bank or save in the bank that can give you interest returns on the investment and you are not actually working. The true measure of wealth is how long you can stay and survive without being actively involved in any business transaction. So that is why we're talking about real estate. So yes, we know. I'm going to give an instance of people who bought land at 450,000 and then the same land is selling for 850,000. A whole lot of persons will come up with the argument, okay, if the money was in dollar, probably it might do more than this. Or if the money was in dollar, it might give us greater return. Or if the person has put it back in his business, it will give him greater return. But what we're looking at, why this thing is called passive income, is because we are not actively involved in it. And then most people who want to invest passively don't look for investment options that are volatile. You don't pick investment options that are volatile. Volatile investments are actually high. That's what we call high risky ventures. And because they're high risk, they come with higher returns. Yes, of course, your business gives you higher return, but the risk in the business is very high, and that's why you're having high return. So most times, if you're going to do a passive income, it is best that you put it in another investment that is relatively very secure, that is the risk is less than normal. I don't know if you understand. You put it in a business that has low risk. And that is what we're talking about when we say real estate. So now we are seeing why maybe you're now agreeing with me that maybe the money, the profit you're going to make in your business, put a part into your business, into real estate, into another business or whatever. But just know that what you're going to use is your profit. Remember, I said the money you use in land banking, the money you use in land banking is not the money that you can't afford to risk. You see reasons why you should even consider investing in the first instance. There will be time in your life that you will not be as agile as you are at the moment. You will not be as active as you are in the moment. So those times you will need to have set out money that will work for you. That is the simple definition of passive income. Your money working for you. And real estate is a good option because real estate has low risk. And then most times, if you're land banking, it will give you have low risk or will still give you massive return in the nearest future. But remember, the money you're keeping in land banking is the same amount of money you can fix in the bank. So today, the money you can fix in the bank, fixed deposits are amount of money that you don't have access to for till the specific time you've given the bank. So that money you're supposed to fix in the bank today, I'm telling you, don't fix that money. Please bring it. Let me use it and buy land for you. Do you get? So now, instead of fixing it in the bank, please bring it. Let us buy land. Why? The answer to our why lies on the interest rates of the amount of money you're getting versus inflation rates versus return on land. This simply answers the question of why should you invest your money. So to answer that question, we're going to use a scenario. Let's give an example of two friends, 150 million naira last year, and Mr. John had 250 million naira last year. And then Mr. Peter decided to put his own money in the bank. Mr. John decided to invest his own in land. And this is the economy as of last year. 250 million naira is 250 million naira. So now, what happened to this money? What is the worth of this money today? How much is this 250 million naira that Mr. John left in the bank going to be? The amount today. How much is it going to be? This amount that Mr. John put in the bank, Mr. Peter put in the bank, and this 250 million that Mr. John used to buy land. So what happened to it? Now, Mr. Peter was offered a very juicy interest rate by the bank as of last year, and that was why he actually put this money in the bank. It was offered 8.5% per annum for 250 million and above. So he had 250 million naira, he decided to put it in the bank. This is an actual rate. This is an actual rate. So now let's do 8.5% is 1 year because this money he put it in September last year. So it's 1 year already. Let's see how much that he has in the bank as of today. 250 million naira in the bank, and then he's supposed to earn 8.5% per annum. So we're going to do 8.5% of 250 million of 250 million naira. So he earned 21,250,000 as interest on 250 million. That's a whole lot of money, man. So today, Mr. Peter's money will be this plus this. It will now be 21,250,000 plus 250 million naira. That will give us 271,250,000 naira. 250,000 naira. That's a very huge amount of money. So Mr. Peter actually is a wise investor because he put his money, instead of using this 250 million naira and doing dolime, he has put it in the bank, which this 21,250,000 naira is a passive income. You get the gist. He worked and they got 250 million naira from his earned income, and then he placed it in the bank, and the bank now had to pay him 21,250,000 naira for putting his money in the bank with them for 1 year, 8.5% return, and then he has 271,250 million. That's a whole lot of money for Mr. Peter. So now, what happened to Mr. John? Mr. John went to Supreme City Amokonike last year, and he bought a plot of land for 450,000 naira. That was how much he bought a plot of land for 450,000 naira. So how many plots did Mr. John buy with his how many plots did Mr. John buy with his 250 million naira? Let's do the calculation. We're going to be able to. So 215 million divided by 450,000. He bought 555 plots. He bought 555 plots of land last year with his money. As of today, Supreme City Amokonike is selling for 850,000 naira per plot. That's just amazing. So let's assume that today Mr. John wants to exit the market and he decides to sell his 55 plots, 555 plots. He's going to sell it at 555 plots times 555 plots times 850,000 naira. 850,000 naira. So let's assume he wants to sell today. Sell today at 850,000 per plot. Per plot. It means he's going to have his money today will be 471,750,000 naira. That's magic. So a lot of persons, this is actually what we call ritual. When you say someone has done money ritual, this is just an example of what it is. So, but what is the worth of these things? Why do I have economy here? It's because is this actually the real worth of this money? This is just the amount as it is, the way we are seeing it in our with our eyes. Like if it goes to the bank to withdraw, this is what is going to withdraw. But is this really the value? Is this really the value? From the look already, you see this man is already winning. I think I would have even done the economy so you understand. You see this man is already winning, but both of them are winning as of this point, right? Both of them are winning. He had 250 million. Now he has 271 million. He had 250 million. Now he has 471 million. One is winning higher than the other. Okay? The risk involved in this one is higher than the one involved in this one. So therefore, it's explained, it's understandable why the margin is there because there is no way that Mr. Peter can lose his money. Mr. Peter cannot lose his money at all because he's in the bank, right? That's what is assumed. But this man, if he didn't do his due diligence very well, that's why you need a good real estate consultant to help you even when you're doing land banking. And remember, there are factors I mentioned in the last video that you need to check before you can actually buy. So let's assume Mr. John did everything. He's going to have this. But if he didn't do everything, he might end up tying down his money for a long time. Now, what actually happens in the economy? Is 250 million naira last year the same as 250 million naira today? No. Why? Because of a factor we call inflation. Inflation is ordinarily just the basic term, the increase in the cost of goods and services, which could be as a result of high demand for those goods, which can be like, okay, the need is higher than the supply, need greater than supply, or just too much money chasing few goods. Basic understanding, basic economics. So inflation. Now, what is the current inflation rate in Nigeria as we speak? 26.7%. That is it. So what is now the implication of this inflation rate to this? It now means that while the bank was paying this man 8.5%, the inflation rate is at 26.7%. This is the amount of this 250 million as it is today. This is the amount as it is today. So we're just going to do 26% of this and reduce it from either of them. You do 26% of this and reduce it, you will now know the real value. Now, what we're going to do, what we want to achieve here is this. This inflation rate is telling us the purchasing power, what your money can afford. Because inflation is cost of goods, the rise in the cost of goods. It has risen to 26.7%. So we are going to do, okay, what is now the purchasing power of this? What is the real value? Let's get real value. So when you do 26.7% of this, it's going to give you this 125,957,250 naira. If you do 26.7% of 271,250,000, it will give you 72,432,759. So we are going to reduce this because this is the effect of inflation on this money. This is the effect of inflation on this money. So for you to know the purchasing power of this money or this money, you're going to reduce this from this and this from this. So let's say 271,250,000 minus 271,250,000 will give us, 271,250,000 naira minus 72,423,750 naira will give us 198,826,250 naira. And then when you now reduce this, reduce 471,750,000 minus 125,957,250 naira, we have 345,792,750 million naira. So, in the real sense of it, this is the purchasing power of this money. This is the face value of this money. The increase, it increased to 271 million. But now you've seen that if he brings out this 271 million, he can only buy something to the amount of 198 million. So he has actually lost money instead of gaining.